So today when I was in your chemistry class, 7th period, I saw POGL. Can you give me more feedback on what POGL stands for, how it's used in a classroom setting?
Yeah, so I don't really know what it stands for, but
Okay.
I went to a PD for Teach for America, and they taught us this strategy that combines like higher level thinking and collaborative group work, and it's very intentional group work. It's not just like, okay, work in a group, go. There's like strict rules. So like part of it, this was a suggestion. I'm not sure if it's part of like all POGLs or just the way that I was taught, but they suggested to use cups so that if they show a red cup, then it means that they need help. And then if they show a blue cup, it means they're good, they don't want you. And then there's also this part where you give them each an individual job, and then there's a group grade for working together collaboratively.
Okay, and I noticed that a lot of students had it on blue and you were facilitating, which is great because they're actually engaged in their activity. When you gave them the manager roles, how did you group the students?
So I made a seating chart yesterday, and then I tried to pair kids together with some high, some low, and then kids that weren't friends so that they would talk less. So then I just used the same groups for their POGLs because I already had 4 people, and then I was taught to have 4 jobs. So at least every group had one like higher kid.
Okay, so I'm a high kid. I'm doing all the work. How do you spread the workload out?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I haven't totally figured out. So like for the rules of POGL, they all have to put their pens in the cup when they're talking and when they're thinking. And then they're supposed to all agree on an answer. So ideally, I was picturing the high kid helping the low kid asking questions. And then once they all agree on an answer and know what to write, then they all pick up their pencils at the same time and write the same answer.
Yeah, because I saw a lot of the high kids writing and the low kids looking to figure it out.
Yeah.
So a suggestion that I would give would be maybe the ability levels, not so much high and low, maybe high and medium high, and then low and medium, whereas your low student isn't so much lost and feeling insecure. And maybe once that is solidified, then they build their confidence up, and then you can have within groups switch partners so that the medium and low person can build confidence with each other and then switch with the high and medium.
Oh yeah, that's good.
You understand? You see? And so the other thing that I noticed was that a lot of the students were mostly in the back corner. They saw the word polyatomic and their eyebrows went sky high. They were not really engaged. How would you have changed that for your next class period?
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too, and it seemed like when they saw that this POGL was on polyatomic ions, they were like, whoa, I have no idea what that means, and like this is kind of intimidating, and like I think it's supposed to be, but like it was too much. So then when I did it for my 8th period, I changed it so that in the beginning of class, I just did a very brief, like, okay, we've been talking about ionic bonds, and then naming them, and then writing the formulas. And then this is one addition to that to make it just a little more complicated.
Yeah.
So then I showed them the word polyatomic, and then I broke it up, and then we talked about how poly means many, and atomic's talking about atoms, and then ion is charged. Okay. So then I didn't tell them like how that applies and like what that means, because I did want them to like experience some sort of
inquiry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I think it did help going into it knowing like, oh, it has to do with ionic bonds in this way, and then poly means many, and like it's talking about many atoms in a group together. Okay. So they were like much better in like diving right in. And in my 7th period, they were a little like,
But I like the fact that you saw the weakness in your 7th period and you changed it right away 8th period, and you saw the success in your 8th period class. I did notice in your 7th period class you were going around marking points off when students didn't follow the job requirements. One suggestion that I would give to you, you can mark off, but they can also gain. So say if, Johnny decides that he's not going to be the manager anymore, I quit, I don't want to do it. and then you go and mark Johnny. He's like, oh, Miss A, why? I was, you know.
Yeah.
One way that you can do that is to say, okay, guys, although I'm marking off, you still can get those points rewarded to you, because you want them to feel confident in their learning and know that they're their own, their path is paved by themselves and with your help.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I could see them being much more positive about the group work if it's not like, oh, well, I ruined it, now it's over. So yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah. Overall, I think your class went well. It was a joy being in here, like always. Thank you for this time, and keep moving forward. You're doing awesome.